We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Thursday, May 22nd here in Seoul. I'm Song Yoo-jin and you're tuning into News Generation. Joining us today is Jessica Dainha.
Happy Thursday, everyone!
Happy Thursday! And Kang Moon-ju.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. We're going to begin our show with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Thursday is weather. Now, Wednesday marked Soman, the traditional seasonal marker, signaling the start of early summer in Korea, and the weather is living up to that name. Much of the country is under an unusually hot and humid spell with warm southern winds pushing in tropical air. And on Tuesday, Seoul recorded a daily minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, setting a new May record for the warmest low since modern records began in 1907. Now, Incheon also hit a record, logging 20.7 degrees Celsius, the highest May daily minimum since weather data collection began there in 1904. And other areas like Ulsan, Gangneung, Wonju, Gyeongju, and Taebaek saw lows up to 7 degrees higher than the seasonal average. So I want to ask our panelists, how are you dealing with this hot and humid weather, and do you think this could be a preview of what's to come later this summer?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you're telling me that we are in the early summer, right?
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was the peak of the summer, you say, but
Because it's so hot already,
yeah,
right?
it's so hot. So the weather lately has been quite extreme. Like, it feels like spring, which is one of my favorite seasons, has been taken away
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, right? So I don't tend to be overly sensitive to like hot weather, but like today, today and like for the past week, I kind of questioned this fact for a moment, and like this approaching summer is starting to feel very, very daunting. And also I'm kind of worrying that just like spring, my another favorite season is fall. It's gonna be taken away as well as summer. Like,
Right.
you know, last year it was suddenly like we didn't expect the cold, but
Yeah.
so this year I think it might happen. So their unexpected cold fall might also be taken away. But let's see how it goes.
Right. I mean, a lot of people are already worried, Cheska, because many say that this year, this summer,
Yes.
will be another hottest summer on record, which I think it feels like every year the record is being shattered. Right?
I know, and I don't blame the forecasters for saying that, because we are setting
Yeah,
new
it's true.
records every year, which is so unfortunate. I look forward to the day when the forecaster comes out and say, "Oh, we actually
Have a cooler summer this
cooler
year.
summer." But even today we're supposed to go up to like 28 degrees Celsius, I think. So, and we've talked about this a lot, Eugene, since the beginning of the year. We've had a very
Unexpected weather condition, should I say? Hard to expect.
Exactly, completely unpredictable, kind of rash. We had
Yeah.
snow, we had, rainy
And
days.
the rain.
So I am not looking forward to this year's summer, but I must say we're all in the same boat, and I guess this is what we created. So
We should brace for a really hot summer.
Yes.
Hope everyone stays safe and healthy.
absolutely, absolutely.
Right, but some good news is that the Korea Meteorological Administration says a slight cool down is expected starting tonight as cooler air moves in from the northwest and brings temperatures closer to seasonal norms. And that was our keyword news for this Thursday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Thursday is when we explore the Korean wave and the global appeal of Korean culture. Take a look at the screen to find out what we're going to talk about today. When you think of Korean food, what's the first dish that pops into your mind? Chances are it's one of the classics like kimchi, bibimbap, tteokbokki, or bulgogi. But Korea is also making a big splash in another part of the food world these days, seafood. Have you tried any Korean seafood yourself? Well, just looking at the intro VCR has already made our mouth water. As you can see on the VCR today, we are going to talk about the rising popularity of Korean seafood overseas. So starting off, Cheska, how popular would you say K-seafood has become?
So we've talked about K-wave immensely on the show.
And especially every Thursday, right?
Right, every Thursday. And you started with the intro too.
Yeah.
But another category of, I think, K-wave is coming, and that is seafood, literally. Right. And not just in volume, but in value and recognition. And I think we can first take a look at the actual figures to see how they're growing. So let's take a look at the screen. Now, last year, South Korea's seafood exports reached a total of over $3 billion, and it has only continued to grow every year. Now, Japan ranked as the top export export destination with a little under about $660 million, followed by China at 530 and the United States at 479. And notably, I think one thing to keep in mind is that exports to Europe surged by 16%, rising from about 195 in 2023 to 227 million just last year. So this already shows the seafood market growing. But I think one of the key reasons that the seafood market in the US and Europe is because they're more focused on the frozen products. But as you know, Korea has a well-developed live seafood industry.
Right.
And of course, freshness is so important when it comes to seafood, right? So I think it could be one of the key reasons that Korean seafood is continuing to grow and gain popularity in global markets. And I am definitely one of the biggest consumers when it comes to seafood. So I can definitely vouch for the live seafood and the quality that we have here in South Korea. Yeah.
And I think that what makes seafood really attractive is that there are so many varieties, right? We are going to walk you through the varieties of Korean seafood today. But among those varieties, Moonju, which products would you say are facing the most demand overseas?
Among South Korea's various seafood exports, the most popular one, I guess, is the liver or kim, which holds the largest share, making it a must-buy souvenir for visitors visiting the country. Global demand for this kim continues to rise, establishing itself as like the key product or export product in South Korea. Due to its growing economic significance, it has even been nicknamed the semiconductor of the sea, because semiconductor has always been traditionally the leading export product here in South Korea.
Right.
So if you take a look at the screen right now, in 2023, South Korea's kim exports reached $791 million. And last year, they set a new record at $997 million, which is a remarkable increase of 26%. And notably, Korean-produced liver accounts for 70% of the total global market of the same product. So it kind of strengthens its dominant position in the international trade of kim.
So kim is, as Moonju mentioned, becoming kind of like the backbone of Korean seafood exports, just like semiconductors. So it's really leading the charge in K's seafood exports. But Cheska, for those unfamiliar with kim here in Korea, kim is something that we almost always see on the traditional Korean table, should I say? So could you please tell our viewers some of the most common or the best ways to enjoy kim?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't know that the liver or kim market is growing that big.
But it is actually expanding quite remarkably.
It's almost 1 billion. We're reaching almost 1 billion very, very soon. So in Korea, Yujin, as you mentioned, it is very common to have kim as like a side dish.
Right.
And we have the food called kimbap, which a lot of our viewers must know. It's like rolled rice.
Right.
And we actually wrap it with the seaweed. And we put a lot of ingredients in it. It is one of my ultimate favorite food. I think it's the best food in the world. And many Koreans would also enjoy it very simply with plain rice, like a side dish. We also have the unseasoned one, and we dip it in like a soy sauce or sesame oil, but we also have the seasoned one that comes in packaging. We also use it as a garnish, so it can be sprinkled in any type of soup, or even kimchi fried rice, or even like stir-fried chicken with cheese. You put a little bit of kim on the top, right? But there's something very interesting that is coming to grab the attention of a lot of international consumers, and it is kim being used as a snack.
Right.
So traditionally, Koreans have something called kimbugak, which is a fried seaweed, and then you kind of season it with sugar, so it becomes sweet and savory. But now it's taking a new twist, and they're adding flavors like cheese, wasabi, even like spicy flavors. And this is actually becoming a modern twist and becoming really, really popular among international consumers.
Right.
And I actually know this because a lot of my foreign friends would come and buy these like wasabi flavored kim or like cheese flavored kim, and they would just pack it in their suitcases and go back home. And to me, as a traditional Korean, it's sometimes a bit interesting because we're more used to eating it as like a food or a side dish, but now it's becoming like a snack option too.
And I think that especially as kim bugak or the kim snacks have gained more popularity and we're seeing a wider variety of that, I think young people are drawn into these kim snacks or kim in general because it was kind of distant from like a very trendy snack. But now you can see it like at popular drugstores or snack stores.
And to add on to that, I think I remember now also a lot of international consumers love this because it's low calorie.
Oh, right.
So they eat it like a diet snack.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because kim only has about 30, even if you eat the whole package. So I think they want to try the diet snack plus the taste.
Yeah.
Go together.
So it's good, it tastes good, it's healthy, and it's very low calorie. But besides kim, there are also so many other seafood items from Korea. Wouldn't you? What are some other seafood products that have really hooked the hearts of international consumers?
Yeah, there are a lot, but one of them might be miyeok, which is also gaining its popularity. In Korea, miyeok holds very, very, very special cultural significance, particularly as traditional birthday dish. So on birthdays, South Koreans tend to eat miyeokguk or miyeok soup, often cooking it with beef, shrimp, or like dried pollock strips. And additionally, miyeokguk plays a vital role in postpartum care. So thus, new mothers are encouraged to consume this soup as it is believed to aid recovery and promote healthy lactation. But however, there is a very interesting superstition regarding this miyeok, which is that students tend to avoid eating it the day before the exams, right? You all know why. The reasoning isn't nutritional, but it's just symbolic that because seaweed has a slippery texture, it's very slippery, and there's a belief that it could metaphorically cause a student to like slip from their exams, which means they might not do well in their exams. So that's why like students tend not to eat miyeokguk the day before the exam. Personally, I mean, it didn't really have a big effect on my test because I wasn't that kind of student. You all know what I mean, right? But there is some superstition regarding this miyeok.
Well, when I was a student back in the days, I did not have seaweed soup or any seaweed related food before when I was preparing for a big test. So I'm one of those superstitious people. Well, so far we focused and introduced you to seaweed-like K-seafood items, but Jessica, there are so much more, right?
Oh my God, yes. And just to preface, I am a seafood connoisseur. So everything that we're talking about is my favorite, but on the top of the list are oysters and abalone.
Which we saw in the VCR earlier.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, they are not only delicacies, but they have been very involved in Korean cuisines. So Munju talked about the miyeok soup, but we use oysters in miyeok soup as well, and we even fry them like pancakes. We call them jeon. So we have oyster jeon as well, and we even put them in kimchi, which makes it a fresh flavor as well because they're incredibly high in nutritional value. So they are in various cuisines for a long time, and now they're actually growing in export as well. So if you look at the screen, you can see that both items jumped almost 3 times in the last decade, and that is almost that puts Korea on number 3 on the map for the largest oyster export country after France and China. And I've got to say, Eugene, I've tried oyster in Europe and the States, and I say this with complete bias, but I really think Korean oysters
are the best?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the best, but they have a very special sweetness that I didn't quite get from other places. Maybe it's because we're really good at like fresh produce, but I just love tasting Korean seafood, whether it be oysters or abalone or sashimi. Yeah, it's just Koreans just have this, I don't know, fresh caught feel when it comes to seafood. Yeah.
Oh, Korean oysters. All right, so to hear what seafood our viewers are craving, we ran a poll on our Arirang News YouTube channel asking which Korean seafood would you most like to try. If we look at the results, 39% answered oysters and abalones, 28% seaweed laver and sea mustard, sliced raw fish 22%, and others 11%. And here are a few comments from our viewers. Benny97 says, I've tried sea mustard soup and seaweed laver and I absolutely love them now. Brown Giraffe 33, live octopus or sandakji. It wasn't as scary as I expected and actually tasted quite good, especially when paired with beef tartare. 8917336, oysters are so abundant in Korea that people eat them with spoons. I love to try that one day. You should definitely try oysters out here in Korea. So for more on the K-seafood craze, after the break, we'll be joined by a millennial in Australia. We'll be right back.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. click community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today for our live interview segment is Australian millennial Alexandra Fayem. Welcome back to the show, Alexandra.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be back.
It's a pleasure to have you back as well. So, Alexandra, we would really like to know whether Korean seafood products are also popular in Australia. What would you say?
We love seafood in Australia. We really do. There's a famous saying that you throw another shrimp on the barbie. And even though in Australia we don't say shrimp, we say prawns, we really, really do love seafood. We love Asian seafood particularly. It's so close to us, so we get some, it's not as fresh, obviously, but it is very fresh for us. And yeah, we absolutely love it. So particularly Korean seafood is quite popular in Australia. It's definitely growing in popularity too.
You know, we're talking about K-wave and talking about the K-wave of seafood. So if you had to pick one, what would be your top Korean seafood recommendation?
Ooh, it's very hard to pick one. I really love fish cakes. I love spicy fish cakes. I think they're wonderful. I also love octopus balls and the salmon bulgogi as well. Like for Korean barbecue, it is just delicious. We love Korean barbecue in Australia. But I think my favorite would probably have to just be a seafood dumpling. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, seafood dumplings are great, and I'll just give you here opportunity to express your other favorite seafoods. Is there any other Korean seafood dish that you'd like to try that you haven't tried it yet?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, I would like to just go to Korea and try a lot of the food in person because I know that it would just be heads and tails above what we have here. But I would love to try the seafood, the scallion pancakes. They look so tasty. And yeah, that's the top of my list personally. But I would want to try everything.
Well, hope you have a chance to visit Korea real soon and get to try those seafood in person.
Oh, I'd love to. I really would. It's the top of my list.
All right, Alexandra, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right, so as Alexandra just mentioned, if you really want to taste Korean seafood at its finest, nothing is better than trying it right here in Korea, visiting the country. So ending off, I think this is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
If our viewers actually come to Korea, which are the best spots to enjoy the freshest and finest seafood?
And Alexandra led us perfectly to this question,
Right.
right? So definitely recommend all the ocean port cities like Busan, which is already famous for seafood and markets, Gangneung, Yeosu. I mean, pick your side, east and west coast.
There's also Incheon, which is really close to Seoul.
You're
right?
absolutely right. We're only about an hour if you take the public transport, and Korea has such a great way to travel.
Right.
And if you have time, definitely travel all the way down to Jeju. It's a great vacation spot with amazing seafood. I've been to most of the cities since I'm crazy about seafood, and you get the freshest quality, and also the seafood is to die for. I recommend all the way.
A lot to visit.
Oh, so many places.
A lot of places
Yeah,
to visit.
to eat also.
Right, to eat seafood and enjoy all the beautiful scenery.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you suggest, Munju?
Yeah, locals are always the best, and like, you know, Jessica just mentioned Busan Gangneung, and Eugene just mentioned Incheon. And I actually been to Incheon like last week, and I had some like seafoods there. It was very good. So just try visit Incheon, Gangneung, Busan, whichever is close to you. But if you are having a hard time traveling outside Seoul, it's okay. The city still offers an excellent seafood markets here in Seoul. Among them, Noryangjin Fish Market and Garak Market are particularly well known for seafoods.
Right.
And both are easily accessible by public transportation, making them very, very convenient destinations for those looking to experience Korea's vibrant seafood scene firsthand. So you could always stay in Seoul and experience seafoods of South Korea.
And I would like to especially emphasize or introduce the Noryangjin Seafood Market because a few days ago, CNN actually introduced the Noryangjin
really?
Seafood Market and introduced all the fresh varieties of seafood, Korean seafood that it has to offer to its visitors. And its Noryangjin Seafood Market is actually the largest indoor seafood market here in Seoul. So if you have chance to visit Seoul, visit Noryangjin Seafood Market. And also, if you have more time, you have to visit all the port cities and the regions that our panelists mentioned so that you could enjoy and compare all the different seafood items that each region has to offer.
And it's a great vacation spot, as you mentioned.
It is.
So
Yeah.
why not travel and enjoy the delicacies, right?
And especially when the weather gets hotter, the best vacation
yeah.
spot is near the ocean.
Yes, which
one
it
of-
will.
Yeah, survival tip.
Right. And that's all we have for today, but Newsgen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Cheska Daina.
Pleasure's always mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Kangmunju.
Thanks for having me today.
Thank you, and to our viewers, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow on Friday. We are News Generation.